During winter time a few years ago, I experienced the lowest point of my life. I had just gone through a breakup, and the people at my school, I was not getting along with them. I had almost no real friends. I felt so lonely, and it felt like nobody understood what I was going through. But on the other hand, I experienced some of the biggest growth I ever have in my entire life. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the 5 pieces of advice that literally changed my life, and it all took place in one winter. So during the winter a few years ago, what had initially happened is I went through this breakup and my life felt horrible. To put it simply, a lot of bad things started happening to me all at once. It felt like everything just came running down on me. You know, I started to look worse. For some reason, I started breaking out on my face. I've never had acne in my life, and this just killed my confidence. Especially after a breakup, I didn't look good at the time. I was actually bulking, meaning I was trying to put on weight at the gym, so my face was getting fat and I felt horrible. And to make things even worse, all of the comments of all of my videos were mentioning that I was starting to look worse, and that obviously takes a toll on your mental health. All of these bad things had happened to me, and I used it as an excuse to give up. I stopped trying in school as much, and I stopped going to the gym. I just didn't do anything I was supposed to do, and I felt horrible about it, but in a way it gave me some level of peace. Just having no accountability for myself and letting everything just happen to me. Until eventually, after working at Chipotle for many months, I had crashed my car. And it took all of that time that I had spent making money without social media, without anything, just Chipotle, and essentially wasted it on fixing my car. And actually, that money did not go to fixing my car. It went to fixing the person's car that I hit. And yes, it was my fault, because I really just was not paying attention. And that was a real wake-up call for me. Now I had to actually make a change, because I was not going to let my life go down this dark path that it was heading towards. This leads me into the advice that I want to give you. So when I crashed my car, I drove it like this. I drove it while it was crashed. Like, the front bumper was completely missing, and I did this for months on end. Now, the answer and the reason why is because it was me basically submitting myself to what other people thought. I stopped caring what anyone else thought, and I think that is the number one first thing that you need to do. Out of all of these 5 things I did, I would not be where I am right now if I did not take this step. So during this winter, or during this time in your life, I think it is so important to take a step back and realize what I realized when I crashed my car. And it's that nobody really cares. There was a few people driving on the side of the road who saw me crash my car. They didn't really ask if I was okay. Nothing happened. When I got back to school, there were a few questions about it, but after that, that was pretty much it. And I just kept it going, kept moving, kept on with my regular life, and everything just went back to normal. Except now I had a completely busted car. But in the same way that people didn't really care that I crashed, they also didn't really care that I had a busted car. Nobody really talked about it or said anything about it at all. And what's crazy is where I'm at in life now, I see people with sports cars all the time and really nice things. And guess what? Even though it's the polar opposite, the complete opposite of what happened to me, I was at the lowest of the low. These people who have complete wealth and so much money have these really nice things, and people glance at their car for a second and it gets old very fast. Like, within a matter of seconds, that multi-$100,000 car becomes a forgotten memory. So you can take this one of 2 ways. The bad way to take this is that, oh no, nobody cares about me, my life doesn't mean anything. But there is one person who should, and that's you. So whatever you're doing with your life, you should be doing what impresses you. Don't try to impress other people, because that is time wasted. And this is going to sound extremely harsh, but please try not to take it the wrong way. But let's say you were to die today. If you were to die today, most of the people who know you, your quote-unquote friends, wouldn't be able to show up to your funeral. Somebody's going to have work. Somebody's going to be going to get a coffee with their friends. Somebody's going to be doing something completely different and not even remember that it happened. They will forget within 1 day or maybe even less. So the people that are controlling your life and making you do things and change the way that you act are the same people who would not even care if you died. So I want you to take it this way. You're allowed to embarrass yourself. You're allowed to do things that are not normal. You are allowed to actually focus on yourself and not worry about what other people think, because at the end of the day, it does not matter. Step number 2, start going to the gym or working out. When I had started working out this winter, I had never gotten really any compliments in my entire life on my muscles. It was never a thing because I've always been pretty skinny. But during this winter that I mentioned earlier, it was so much progress that everybody around me noticed, and it was the best feeling in my life. I'm telling you right now, I was getting compliments from people who have never complimented me before on something that I have never been complimented about, which was my physique. And this was such a good feeling, and I think that everybody should feel this at some point in their life. But as I said, you're not doing this to impress other people. That was solely just a side effect. The real reason you want to do it is because you will become mentally sharp, and a strong body can do things that other people cannot. You will be able to remember things better. Your sleep will be better. You will wake up feeling more awake. Your literal sentience, your consciousness as a human being is going to be more aware simply by improving your health. And I'm telling you this from personal experience, and you can ask about any person who looks fit. You ask them, are you happy that you worked out? The answer is going to be yes, 10 out of 10 times. So do it. Get to the gym, or at least work out at home. There are no excuses. I've seen people wheelchair bound, people whose legs don't work, with a good physique, good arms. They work on the things that they can control. Don't worry about the things that you cannot control. Step number 3. This is going to be a hard one, but this is very specific advice, and it's breaking this addiction right here. Your phone addiction. The amount of dopamine that you have on here. Watching corn, whatever the case may be. I don't care if it's just short form content, you're scrolling from video to video. This is not only wasting your time, but it is wasting your most valuable asset, which is your attention. Your attention is so important. People who are focused are successful, and people who can't focus are unsuccessful. And this, I can guarantee you right now, when you sit down to do your homework or sit down to do anything that's work related, I guarantee you it is disrupting your flow of work. You get a text from that one person, you feel like you have to respond. You get a notification, you feel like you have to go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever social media platform you use. I guarantee you this is disrupting your focus, and worst of all, disrupting your sleep. Before you hop into bed tonight, I want you to get this thing right here. Go to settings. Once you're in settings, go to this search bar and type in display and text size. And you need to scroll down to color filters, turn it on. Click this bottom button down here that says color tint and maximize the intensity. Your phone is now red. See, the issue is that when you're on your phone, specifically at night, the blue light that comes from your phone actually convinces your mind that it's daytime, keeping you absolutely wide awake and making you feel horrible the next morning. So if you actually take the time, the small amount of time, 30 seconds out of your day, this will make a night and day difference considering how important your sleep is to your health. Step number 4 is working on a passion. So for me, it was social media content. I enjoy making videos so much. I can sit here and talk for hours. But for you, it might be different. Maybe it is the same. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's playing guitar. Maybe it's doing something that's just a hobby. But anything that might actually improve your value as a human being, whether it's simply learning to play an instrument or anything of the sort, you need to be doing this. This will increase your brain activity. This will actually make you feel productive, and this will actually help you learn more things over time. Your mind is a muscle and it needs to be trained. Do not go without training it. I promise you will not regret it. Now for step number 5, it's simply just tracking your progress. Take progress photos, remember everything that you're doing to try to improve yourself, and I've actually made a list for you. I want you to screenshot this list and use it whenever you need. It's a 4-step chart to success. Number 1, set clear goals. Number 2, develop positive habits. So do things that will actually increase your potential as a human. Step number 3, practice self-reflection, meaning that you need to look back on the things that you do to actually understand where you are and where you're going. Step number 4 is quitting bad habits. I want you guys to leave your comments down below of a habit that you are going to quit and a good habit that you are going to start, or at least try to this winter. Hopefully this video was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.